Let's today go with the module C. In this particular module C, we have again units from 15 to 24. All miscellaneous units we have. We also have some units regarding the recovery. Let us see. Take one by one and discuss. We have units from 15 to 24. We'll start with the integrated ombudsman and go ahead up to tax laws. So let's see how it goes along. First of all, we'll start with integrated ombudsman scheme. When we wanted to discuss this particular scheme, we should be understanding four things. What the Reserve Bank of India mandates as far as the customers' grievances are concerned. It is necessary, in fact, for the banks like us who are into services industry, and customers are very, very important to us. Not only from the point of view of the service, but also from point of view of the business definition itself. Section 5B says the business of banking is accepting deposits from the customers. So customer service is very, very important as far as the banks are concerned, even when we compare to other service industries like telecommunications or postal, whatever services you refer. That's why Reserve Bank of India also has mandated that there should not be any grievances from the customers. If they be so, they should be effectively dealt at the organization level. In case they are not been able to be dealt at organization level, they should always be escalated to the higher ups, which are monitored by RBI. So in that context, what is this grievances mechanism a customer has in case the same is not solved instantly by the branch or the bank? So there are four authorities who are looking after these kind of things. One is the Integrated Ombudsman Scheme by Reserve Bank of India and is appointed by the Integrated Ombudsman is appointed by RBI. Then we have Deputy Integrated Ombudsman is also appointed by RBI. Then we have Internal Ombudsman. Internal Ombudsman is the a person identified either from the outside the agency or from the bank itself, appointed by the regulated entity. Regulated entity means one of the regulated entities is banks. And there is also nodal officer identify each RE. So in journal offices or head offices, we have nodal officers who are the first line of defense in case any complaints is received from the customer. So this is how the complaint escalates from bottom to the up. First it goes to the nodal officer, that goes to internal ombudsman, goes to deputy integrated ombudsman and integrated ombudsman. Of course, integrated and deputy integrated are the same. So this is how the customer can escalate his complaint to the respective authorities. Now, in 2021, Government of India passed a new act called Integrated Ombudsman Scheme 2021. Prior to passing this act in 2021, there were different types of ombudsmen, one for the banking services, one for the non-banking financial companies, NBFCs, and another we have for the digital transactions. So now it was becoming that almost all these three people are dealing with financial services, and all these things are also controlled by Reserve Bank of India. So therefore, it has been decided by Government of India, why not we have one ombudsman for all these financial services? Even the concept was that one nation, one ombudsman. This was the concept with which this integrated ombudsman scheme has come up in 2021. Now, this particular ombudsman and deputy ombudsman both are appointed by the Reserve Bank of India, and ombudsman is an appellate body. In fact, as an appellate body, they also take the cases. But what are the functions of deputy ombudsman? Basically, the deputy ombudsman cannot give any direction or cannot give any order or pass an order in case of complaints received from the customer. His main job is to, first of all, take care of the complaint received from them, analyze the situations, and try to make both the parties come together for a amicable solution. That's only the main purpose of the deputy ombudsman is concerned. So once no reconciliation takes place or things do not agree as it's required, then the case is put up to the integrated ombudsman, who will pass his order for implementation either by the bank or by the complainant. So sometimes they're asking the questions, what is the role of a deputy ombudsman? Remember only two things. One is bringing a reconciliation between both the parties to facilitation, reconciliation, and dispose the complaint. In case other than that, he cannot go and give any judgment or pass an order on the complaint received from the complainant. These are the two functions. Now, what they have done, the Reserve Bank of India has been given powers under Banking Regulation Act, Section 35, to appoint integrated ombudsman. Similarly, under Section 45L of RBI Act, Reserve Bank of India has powers to appoint integrated ombudsman for NBFCs. Under Section 18 of Payment and Settlement Act, Reserve Bank of India has been appointed as the authority to appoint the integrated ombudsman. Kindly look at all those three important sections. 35 of BR Act, 45L of RBI Act for NBFCs, and Section 18 of Payment and Settlement Act for payment settlement regulators. Then, whenever a customer wants to make a complaint, there's no need to send anything in writing in hard copy. You can send through email. There is a dedicated portal for integrated ombudsman. Logging to that portal, you can make a complaint. And whenever a complaint has been made, it should always be towards a deficiency of service as a ground for filing a complaint and not anything else. They cannot complain, a customer cannot complain anything relating to a financial decision taken by the bank. But if they find there is a deficiency in service in providing even that financial services, he has a right to complain to the integrated ombudsman. In the particular slides we have seen, we'll see what are the various things that could be covered under ombudsman and what is not covered under ombudsman. Basically, the service related problems. We give an example. How to distinguish between a service related issue and a credit related issue. For example, a customer has applied for a loan. A vehicle loan is applied. And there are certain guidelines given to us both from RBI as well as our own bank to dispose of this application in a given time frame. Let's suppose the time frame given, of course, we have certain time frames for priority sector advances. Take that time frame. Let's suppose there's a time frame that within 25 days of receipt of the application for loan from the borrower, the disbursement should take place. It's not that a sanction and all. Disbursement should take place within that given time of 25 days. This is the rule. Now, the bank has right to decline the proposal based on the grounds of that the person is not eligible for borrowing. So then you can decline it. Then if you decline that, he has no right to go to ombudsman. He has no right to go to ombudsman at all. But because it's a commercial decision, banks can take it as per their policy guidelines. But let us suppose we are not sticking to this time limit of 25 and we are go on extending him. Okay, come tomorrow like this. Ultimately, after 30, 40 days, you say that we are not going to sanction a loan because you are not eligible for that. So now, and the first thing, on the commercial judgment of the bank, he cannot go to ombudsman. But however, for the delay and the mental stress the person has felt, for that he can go to ombudsman. The second one is treated as a deficiency service, whereas the first one is treated as a commercial judgment by the bank. This is one which is very, very important. Then, once a complaint has been received, it's all processed at the centralized processing centers which has been set up in Chandigarh. Whether a complaint has been received by RBI in writing or a complaint is lodged through the portal, every complaint first is processed at their processing center, which is located in Chandigarh. From there, they will look into this complaint, acknowledge the complaints, and they will send it to the respective the ombudsmen situated in different states. There are about, I think, 22 ombudsmen are there across the country who will be looking at such kind of cases. Okay. Now, some more procedures we will also discuss along with this. Now, first of all, when a complaint is received, first of all, regulatory entity has to settle that complaint. When it's escalated to the ombudsman place, then the judgment will be given by the ombudsman. Let us suppose the customer is not happy with the judgment given by them. He has a right to appeal also. And the delegate authority is Executive Director in charge of Consumer Education Protection Department of RBI. So whether the customer or the bank, if they are not happy with the decision given by the ombudsman or the order passed by the ombudsman, they always have a right to appeal against that decision. And the appellate authority is executive director in RBI, who is looking after this consumer education department. Up to this, some summary we are going to give. And what are the entities which are covered under this integrated ombudsman? I've been talking about three: all the banks, NBFCs, and the system participants as per the Payment and Settlement Act. They also introduced the credit information companies. These are not credit rating companies, credit information companies like CIBIL, Experian. These are the companies who are also covered under the particular Integrated Ombudsman Act. The credit rating agents like CARE, ICRA, they are not covered under Ombudsman guidelines. So these are the four entities who are covered for this thing. Secondly, as far as you can see that all commercial banks, RRBs, state cooperative banks, district central cooperative banks, then urban cooperative banks, as far as the non-scheduled urban cooperative banks are concerned, if the deposit size is 50 crores and above, then only they are covered, or they are not covered. Otherwise, if it is a scheduled urban cooperative bank, it is covered automatically. But it's a non-scheduled urban cooperative bank, then asset size should be 50 crores. If you remember, I also told you, the central cooperative banks, we call DCCBs, they are not scheduled banks, but even then, irrespective of their asset size, they are covered under the Integrated Ombudsman Act. Okay. Then also about because these are all the internal things which are to be understood for examination point of view. Peripherals are okay, but these some are the things. Some of the following banks are not covered under the Integrated Ombudsman scheme: scheduled banks, non-scheduled commercial banks, then urban cooperative banks, deposit size 50 crores. Like that, they will give some, some questions between the lines from these kind of things. That's where we have to be more aware of. Similarly, whether all NBFCs are covered? No. Again, which if they are having, if any NBFC is accepting deposits, irrespective of its asset size or anything, it's covered. If it's having a customer interface, if asset size 100 crores and above, they are covered. So let's suppose it doesn't have any kind of customer interface, then it's that NBFC is not covered. So this we have to distinguish. Even NBFCs also which are covered, and housing finance companies are not covered. Again, so all NBFCs, no. Housing finance companies not covered. The which are the NBFCs which accept deposits, they are covered. If there is no customer interface, but if the size is 100 crores and above, they are covered. So like that, we have to remember about the coverage. And there are 22 regional offices of Ombudsman. Centralized center is at Chandigarh, and this is the address for making complaints by the customers. And the tenure of the Ombudsman or Deputy Ombudsman is 3 years. Then what are the complaints which cannot be covered? So normally, if is a question of deficiency of service, those complaints are covered. Another thing is that a customer cannot directly go to Ombudsman to settle his claim. First of all, his first line of redressal is always with the bank. In case a bank did not accept his complaint or did not solve his problem, then only he has a right to go to the Ombudsman. So let's suppose if he directly approaches the Ombudsman, then also such kind of complaints are not entertained by Ombudsman. And any commercial judgments not entertained. Anything in the form of advice or a suggestion, such kind of complaints are not taken care by the Ombudsman. Is a big list of the things are there where the complaints cannot be accepted. Something they are writing, look at that. Complaints made after the expiry of the period of limitation prescribed under Limitation Act for such claims. There is something else also here. There are certain claims. There is one act called Limitation Act. Normally, Limitation Act deals with the advances and the documentation we take when we are lending money to the borrower. But there are certain situations like raising a complaint or raising some kind of claim over the payments, etc. They are barred by some limitation. Means if an incident happened, if you don't complain within a period of 3 years, let us suppose, then you cannot further go and complain against the same thing. So like that, if anything is barred by limitation like that, even then such complaints are not taken care by the ombudsman. So there's a big list where they have given which complaints are not covered by the ombudsman. Then, when a customer has to approach the ombudsman, the first and foremost is he has to first approach the regulated entity. Then, then he has write a complaint. If he has not received a reply from the bank within 1 month after the complaint received by bank received the complaint 1 month, then only he can approach the ombudsman. Otherwise, within 1 month, the complaint has been already been replied by the bank, but he is not satisfied with the reply of the complaint, the redressal given by the bank, or the bank itself directly rejected the complaint, then only he can go to the ombudsman for filing his appeal with them. Okay, 1 month is the time, or anything before 1 month, if they give it, then rejection or thing. Let's suppose the bank has not given a reply within 1 month, or the bank has given a reply, the reply is not satisfactory to us. Our bank has straight away rejected our complaint. In such cases, the customer can appeal to or go to the ombudsman within 1 year. Okay, within 1 year from the date of receipt of reply from REA. Within 1 year. Let's suppose within 15 days they got a reply. So 1 year from the 15 days. Okay, let's suppose there is no reply at all. 30 days plus 1 year. So after within 1 year, you can approach the what you call the ombudsman for any kind of no redressal. Okay, this is kindly limit the understand the time limits and when to a customer has a right to complain. Okay, yeah. So I think Herald is asking what is RE. Avinash has replied. It's regulated entity. Yes, good. Kindly, sir, don't put anything in the chat. Unmute your phone and speak to me. I'll reply you. Okay. Normally, I don't see the chat boxes. It doesn't flash to me. So this slide is a good slide for examination. Remember. So first of all, he has to give the bank has to give a reply within 30 days of receiving the complaint from the complainant, whether they reject it, accept it, or maybe give a reply which is not good for the customer. Then he has 31 year time to complain it to them. Now, once such a complaint is received at the integrated ombudsman, what the first thing is done, it goes to the, as I said, to the Chandigarh office. They will analyze it and they will send it to the respective, the area of operation of the regulated entities, depending upon the 22 ombudsmans placed all over the country. Then the deputy ombudsman, first of all, will try to analyze this complaint received from the customer, and if needs, seeks a reply from the organization as well. After studying the reply and also the customer's complaint, he may try to have a reconciliation meeting with both of them. And if reconciliation is successful, then the ombudsman, the integrated ombudsman, will pass on the order, and that order becomes implementable on the both the parties. Let's suppose if both the parties do not come for any reconciliation, the matter will be further dealt with by the integrated ombudsman and a decision will be passed by him. Okay. Now, when a customer is complaining, and if let's suppose his complaint has been accepted and found to be correct by the ombudsman, then how much the compensation or penalty that can be awarded to the customer. Okay, Section 8 deals about that kind of things. What is the thing was that there are three types of compensations which are provided by the ombudsman. The first compensation is the amount in default. Second compensation is for the loss suffered by the complainant, and that amount is 30 lakhs rupees. Earlier it was 20, now it has been increased to 30 lakhs rupees. And in addition to that, for mental agony, stress, or regarding this harassment, then additional 3 lakhs can be awarded by the ombudsman. So one is the amount in dispute. Second is the compensation towards the loss suffered, and mental harassment or mental agony or anguish are the 3 lakhs. We will give an example to understand this. For example, a company has presented a check. A branch has passed a check in a company's account. The company represented to the bank, sir, this is a forged check, and you should not have made the payment. Please give back our money. This is a complaint given by the company. Then the bank has studied the complaint, and the bank said, and the check, the check amount is, let us suppose, 20 lakhs rupees. So 20 lakhs rupees is the check which the bank has fraudulently made the payment. Is a fraudulent signature, in fact. So that's what the bank observed it. And anyway, while they were verifying the signature, they found it's not a fraudulent signature. They paid the payment. Subsequently, the company claimed that, sir, this 20 lakh check which you have paid is a fraudulent check. So please give back our money. Anyway, bank had given a reply to them. We have verified the signatures properly from our records, and then signatures tally. And in our opinion, it's not a forgery instrument against which the bank made the payment, and your claim for 20 lakhs rupees is not accepted. So this is a reply received from the bank. Maybe within 30 days or any time it was received. Then if you provide an appeal to the ombudsman, then ombudsman, first of all, anyway, even if there is a reconciliation, they will say no. Now when it goes to the ombudsman, he will say, he may order to further get the clarity, a verification of the signature through forensic authorities. So forensic authorities have verified the signature and said that the signature appearing on the check does not match with the signature in the records of the bank. They will not never pass it's a forged check or not. They will never give such opinions in their reports. They simply mention whether both signatures tally or not. That only they will mention in their report. So it means these signatures did not tally. So bank in fact has paid a payment against a forged check. Now, the ombudsman has passed an order to the bank to make that payment to the company. So as per the order received from Integrated Ombudsman, they have to make a payment of 20 lakhs rupees to the company. This is the amount that is in disputed amount. This is what they will speak about that. There's no limit on the amount of disputed transaction, means whatever is the amount involved. In case of that, then it has to be paid to be ordered to be paid. This is one. Now what the company further represented to ombudsman is that, sir, this forged check 20 lakhs I have paid. Because of that, subsequently many checks were presented in the account. Lack of balance, the bank has returned all those checks for insufficient funds. Then I am facing a lot of cases from all these my payees, and my image of the company has lost. I lost my business now. So bank should pay me compensation for this. If the ombudsman agrees, he can ask the bank to pay compensation up to 30 lakhs rupees. This is second. Then subsequently customer is telling, sir, anyway my image has gone. I was put to lot of tension by this bank because they were frequently asking us this information, that information. Even though I am submitting, they are first accepting, they say not doing it. They are asking me to come to the branch and verify. So many things they were harassing me. I was mentally very much disturbed by this kind of treatment by the bank. So pay me an additional compensation of 3 lakhs. So therefore, in this case, the total compensation, if the ombudsman agrees, goes up to how much? 53 lakhs. 20 lakhs for amount in dispute, 30 lakhs for brand image, 3 lakhs for mental agony. 53 lakhs compensation they will order the bank to pay. Not exactly in all cases that happens, but yeah, ombudsman has a right to do this up to this amount. Let's suppose there is a case of a passbook. A customer gave a passbook for updation. The bank has not updated the passbook and gave it to him. Then there is no amount in dispute there. So, but there is a delay in delivering the passbook to him. So possibly 2 and 3 could also be given to them. Maybe 2 may not be there. Say, okay, because the branch asked him to come, he went to the bank, the passbook was not ready, again asked to come, like that, like that. They can also give an what's called compensation of 3 lakhs rupees. Okay, these are all important things regarding compensation. In case of insurance, it is 50 lakhs and 5 lakhs. Okay, remember that. In case of insurance, the compensation for the case 2 is 50 lakhs and mental agony is 5 lakhs. Now, once such an order has been passed by the ombudsman, within 30 days of receipt of that order, they have to make the payment. 30 days from the date of receipt of the order, the bank has to make the payment. Okay, this is how the compensation is decided or the payment is passed. Sometimes a resolution, a complaint is said to be resolved even without going through this process. When, for example, when a reconciliation took place between the bank and the complainant and the deputy ombudsman was there, so it is settled claim. Then otherwise the complainant agreed in writing, sir, I made a claim, but there's no claim against me. I am satisfied with the grievance. So then also this is said to be complaint has been resolved. Let's suppose the complaint itself withdraws the complaint voluntarily. Then also we can say that the resolution can always happen. Okay. So these are the situations where a complaint said to have been resolved before a decision being given by the ombudsman. Then, what are the various reasons under which the ombudsman can reject a complaint? Okay, one is non-maintainable. Rejection also is not possible. Then, in not maintainable, nature of suggestions, no deficiency in service, all those things where where he finds that this is not possible, they can reject. The ombudsman can only reject the complaints listed up to 1 to 8. Whereas a deputy manager or deputy ombudsman can also reject complaints only on one condition. One is non-maintainable and is nature of suggestions or seeking guidance. So if a complaint raised by the complainant is regarding these 3 things, he finds not maintainable. Why it's not maintainable? He has not approached the bank first. Without approaching directly, made a complaint to us. And second, it may be a complaint in the form of only the deficiency in service of what you call that commercial decision. So some of those things deputy ombudsman can reject it, and in some cases only the ombudsman has right to reject the complaint. So clause 16 speaks about different things. Best again just go through that. Now let us suppose once the decision has been given by the ombudsman, then we can appeal to RBI as a appellate authority. 30 days time is given for within 30 days of date of receipt of communication, they can prefer an appeal. In case bank is preferring an appeal, they have to take permission from chairman, MD or CEO before making an appeal. Okay, customer can anyway within 30 days he can give to RBI and appeal. If banks are wanting to appeal against the judgment given by the ombudsman, their permission from their higher authority is very much required. Okay, appellate authority, as I said, is executive director in charge of Department of Customer Service there. Then what appellate authority can do? He can first dismiss the appeal and again allow the appeal or set aside the award order of the banking ombudsman also. Then remand the matter to the RBI ombudsman for his disposal. So pass any order that is may fit. So yes, the appellate authority has all the right to accept the decision given by the ombudsman, or may ask him to relook into the case once again, or he may set aside the entire order of the ombudsman and pass a separate order. So all these things he can also do. Sometimes when the case has been made to appeal, he may ask the bank to submit some information or documents. Such a document should be submitted within 15 days. Okay. In case this is a situation where the case goes to the appellate authority, then within 15 days, banks have to submit the documents to the appellate authority, that's executive director of RBI. So there is appeal mechanism, and in case an appeal is preferred, what are the rights and regulations? What are the rights and responsibilities of the appellate authority? And in case he seeks an information from the bank, within what time frame the banks have to give the reply or whatever it is to the appellate authority. Otherwise, you can dispose of the case in favor of the customer. So these are some of the things which are relevant as far as the integrated ombudsman are concerned.